The rain was relentless, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Alistair, a 44-year-old software engineer in Seattle, had always considered myself a rational man, a man of logic and algorithms. But logic had no place in the chaos that had become my life. It all started subtly, a shift in Genevieve's behavior, a coolness that hadn't been there before. We'd been married for 15 years, a seemingly solid partnership built on mutual respect and affection. Or so I thought. Genevieve, my Genevieve, the woman with the infectious laugh and the eyes that crinkled when she smiled, had become distant. Her late nights at the office, once infrequent, were now a regular occurrence. "Just wrapping up the Henderson project, Alistair," she'd say, her voice tight, her eyes avoiding mine. I wanted to believe her, I truly did. I wanted to cling to the image of the woman I loved, the woman who had promised to spend her life with me. But the doubts gnawed at me, insidious whispers that grew louder with each passing day. I started noticing things I'd previously overlooked. The perfume that wasn't hers lingering on her clothes, the secretive phone calls, hushed whispers in the hallway, the way she flinched when I touched her as if my touch had become repulsive. I tried to talk to her to bridge the growing chasm between us. "Is everything okay, Jen?" I'd ask, my voice laced with concern. "You seem different." "I'm fine, Alistair," she'd snap, her defensiveness a stark contrast to her usual warmth. "Just stressed with work. Can't you give me a break?" I retreated, wounded by her sharp tone. I didn't want to be a nag, a suspicious husband. I wanted to trust her, to believe in the sanctity of our marriage. Then came the night that shattered everything. I had stayed late at work, battling a particularly stubborn bug in the system. Exhausted and bleary-eyed, I decided to surprise Genevieve with dinner. I knew she'd been working late too, and I thought a quiet evening together might help us reconnect. I arrived home to an empty house. "Genevieve?" I called out, my voice echoing in the silence. No response. I checked her office, the living room, the kitchen, nothing. A wave of unease washed over me. She hadn't mentioned having plans. As I turned to go upstairs, I noticed her purse lying on the kitchen counter. That was odd. Genevieve never left home without her purse. A knot tightened in my stomach. I picked it up, intending to call her, and that's when I saw it, a small, folded piece of paper tucked inside her wallet. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. It was a receipt from a local restaurant, a place we hadn't been to in years. The date was that very evening. The time stamp indicated that the bill had been paid just an hour ago. My heart pounded in my chest. I knew instinctively that something was terribly wrong. I grabbed my keys and headed to the restaurant, driven by a desperate need to know the truth. No matter how painful it might be, the restaurant, the Willow Tree, was dimly lit and romantic, the kind of place couples went for special occasions. I scanned the tables, my eyes searching for Genevieve's familiar face. And then I saw her. She was sitting at a corner table, bathed in the soft glow of a candle. But she wasn't alone. Across from her sat a man I vaguely recognized as one of her colleagues, a slick, arrogant type named Quentin. They were laughing, their faces close, their hands intertwined. Genevieve's eyes, the eyes that had once held so much love for me, were now sparkling with an affection that was clearly not meant for me. The sight hit me like a physical blow, stealing the air from my lungs. I stood there, frozen, watching them, my mind struggling to comprehend what I was seeing. My wife, the woman I had trusted implicitly, was having an affair, right in front of my eyes. A wave of nausea washed over me. I wanted to scream, to confront them, to tear them apart. But I couldn't move. I was paralyzed by shock and disbelief. I turned and stumbled out of the restaurant, my vision blurred by tears. I drove home in a daze, the image of Genevieve and Quentin seared into my brain. I parked the car in the driveway and sat there for what felt like hours, the rain drumming against the windshield, the sobs racking my body. When I finally went inside, I found Genevieve waiting for me, her face pale, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and defiance. "Alistair," she said, her voice trembling. "I can explain." "Explain," I repeated, my voice hoarse. "Explain what, Genevieve? Explain why you were having dinner with Quentin. Explain why you've been lying to me for months." She flinched, her eyes darting away from mine. "It's not what you think," she stammered. "Oh, really?" I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Then tell me, Genevieve, tell me what it is." She hesitated for a moment, then took a deep breath. It just happened, she said. Quentin and I, we connected. It's not something I planned, connected. I roared, my anger finally erupting. You connected. What about us, Genevieve? What about our marriage? What about our vows? She started to cry, her tears doing nothing to soften my rage. I didn't mean for it to happen, she sobbed. I still love you, Alistair, I swear. Don't, I said, my voice low and dangerous. Don't you dare say you love me, Genevieve. You have no idea what love is. I turned and walked away, leaving her standing there alone and weeping. I went upstairs to our bedroom, the room we had shared for 15 years, and began to pack my things. Where are you going? She cried, following me upstairs. Please, Alistair, don't leave me. I'm leaving, I said, my voice cold and hard. I'm leaving because I can't stand to look at you. I'm leaving because you've destroyed everything we had. I packed a suitcase with my clothes, my toiletries, my laptop. I didn't take anything else. I didn't want anything that reminded me of her. As I walked out the door, I turned to face her one last time. I want a divorce, Genevieve, I said, and I want you out of my life. I left her standing there, sobbing, her world crumbling around her. I didn't look back. The next few months were a blur of pain and anger. I moved into a small apartment downtown, a sterile, impersonal space that reflected the emptiness inside me. I threw myself into my work, burying myself in code, trying to forget the betrayal that had shattered my life. My friends tried to be supportive, but their words of comfort felt hollow. You'll get over it, Alistair, they'd say. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. But I didn't want another fish. I wanted Genevieve, the woman I had loved and trusted. But that woman was gone, replaced by a stranger, a liar, a cheat. The divorce was messy and acrimonious. Genevieve tried to deny the affair, to paint herself as the victim. But I had proof, the restaurant receipt, the eyewitness accounts. In the end, she had no choice but to admit the truth. I got the house, the car, the majority of our assets. I didn't care about the money. I just wanted to be done with her, to erase her from my life. As the divorce proceedings dragged on, I started to hear rumors about Genevieve and Quentin. Their affair, it seemed, was not the fairy-tale romance they had envisioned. They were fighting constantly, their relationship strained by jealousy and mistrust. Quentin, it turned out, was not the charming, sophisticated man Genevieve had thought him to be. He was controlling and manipulative, demanding and unfaithful. He had used her just as he had used countless other women before her. Genevieve, on the other hand, had lost everything. She had alienated her friends, damaged her reputation, and destroyed her marriage. She was alone and miserable, trapped in a relationship with a man who didn't love her. A part of me felt a flicker of satisfaction at her misfortune. She had made her bed, and now she had to lie in it. But the satisfaction was fleeting, quickly replaced by a profound sense of sadness. I didn't want her to be miserable. I just wanted her to understand the pain she had caused me, the damage she had inflicted on our lives. One evening, several months after the divorce was finalized, I received a phone call from Genevieve. I almost didn't answer it. I had blocked her number, but she had called from a private line. Alistair, she said, her voice weak and trembling. Can we talk? I hesitated for a moment, then agreed to meet her. I wasn't sure why, but I felt a strange obligation to hear what she had to say. We met at a small coffee shop near our old neighborhood, a place we used to frequent when we were first dating. Genevieve looked terrible. Her eyes were red and swollen, her face gaunt and pale. She had lost weight and her hair was dull and lifeless. I'm sorry, Alistair, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I'm so sorry for everything I did. I know I hurt you terribly and I don't expect you to forgive me. But I needed to tell you that I regret everything. I stared at her, my face expressionless. Regret, I said. Is that all you have to say? You destroyed our marriage, Genevieve. You betrayed my trust. You shattered my heart. And all you can say is that you regret it. I know it's not enough, she said, her eyes filling with tears. But it's the truth. I was foolish and selfish. I thought I wanted something different, something more exciting. But I was wrong. I realized too late that I had everything I ever needed right here with you. I remained silent, listening to her, my heart a mixture of anger and pity. I wanted to believe her, to believe that she truly regretted her actions. But I couldn't. The damage was done. The trust was broken. Quentin left me, she continued, her voice breaking. He found someone else, someone younger, someone more exciting. I'm alone, Alistair. I have no one. I felt a pang of sympathy for her, but I quickly suppressed it. She had made her choices, and now she had to live with the consequences. "I don't know what to say, Genevieve," I said finally. "I'm sorry that you're hurting, but I can't help you. I can't forgive you. You ruined our lives, and I can't just pretend that it never happened." She nodded, her face etched with pain. "I understand," she said. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." We sat in silence for a few minutes, the weight of our shared history hanging heavy in the air. Then Genevieve stood up. "Thank you for listening, Alistair," she said. "I just needed to say it." She turned and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. I watched her go, my heart aching with a sadness that I couldn't explain. I never saw Genevieve again. I heard through mutual friends that she had moved to another city, trying to start a new life. I don't know if she ever found happiness, but I hope she did. As for me, I eventually moved on. I started dating again, cautiously, tentatively. I met someone new, a kind and compassionate woman named Braunt, who helped me to heal and to trust again. It wasn't the same as what I had with Genevieve. It was different, but it was good. It was real, and it was enough. I never forgot Genevieve, but I learned to forgive her, not for her sake, but for my own. I realized that holding onto anger and resentment would only poison my own life. I needed to let go, to move on, to find happiness again, and I did. It took time, but I did. I found love again, and I built a new life, a life that was stronger and more resilient than the one I had lost. The scars of betrayal will always be there, a reminder of the pain I endured. But they are also a testament to my strength, my ability to survive and to thrive, even after the most devastating of losses. Years later, I received a letter. It was postmarked from a small town in Montana. The return address was a name I didn't recognize. Curious, I opened it. Inside was a handwritten note, penned in a familiar, elegant script. "Alistair, I know it's been a long time. I don't expect you to reply or even to read this. But I felt I needed to reach out one last time. I'm writing to you from a small hospice. I'm not well. The doctors say I don't have much time left. I've had a lot of time to reflect on my life, and I've come to realize the magnitude of my mistakes. I know I hurt you deeply, and I'm truly sorry for the pain I caused you. I understand if you can't forgive me, but I hope you can at least understand that I never stopped regretting my actions. I've lived a quiet life since I left Seattle. I never remarried. I never had children. I devoted myself to helping others, trying to make amends for the harm I had done. I know it's not much, but I hope it brings you some small measure of comfort to know that I spent the rest of my life trying to be a better person. I wish you all the best, Alistair. I hope you have found happiness." With deepest remorse, Genevieve, tears streamed down my face as I read her words. It had been so long, and yet the pain was still there, buried beneath layers of healing and forgiveness. I didn't know what to do. Should I reply? Should I visit her? I wrestled with the decision for days, torn between my anger and my compassion. In the end, I decided to do nothing. I knew that a visit would only reopen old wounds for both of us. I chose to remember her as she was, the woman I had loved, the woman who had once brought so much joy into my life. I folded the letter and placed it in a box with other mementos of our life together. It was a reminder of the past, a reminder of the pain and the loss, but also a reminder of the love that had once been. Life goes on, even after the most devastating of betrayals. We heal, we learn, we grow. And sometimes we even find happiness again. But the scars remain, a permanent reminder of the lessons we have learned along the way. And so I share my story, not as a tale of revenge or bitterness, but as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. Remember this, dear listener. Infidelity is a cruel and devastating act, but it does not define you. You are stronger than you think, and you are capable of finding happiness again, even after the deepest of betrayals.